So I just thought of a quick story I got to tell you on Michael Schmidt. So as he mentioned, early in our career, there was four of us. There was me and Lex and Michael Maxfield and our old partner, Oliver Dickin, who was real classic. Some of you may have known him. I know Ralph knows him. I know Joe knows him. He was special. So anyway, we decided that we needed a field band. So they were all too busy, and they said, Shawn, you take care of it. You take applications, you interview them, you find us a field band. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So I boiled it down to where there was two left. There was this old guy in his 50s that had been a field guy all around the region for his whole life, and it was Michael Schmidt. So I come into my partners. I said, hey, we got to make a decision. They said, well, what do you got? I said, well, we got an old guy that's been around this thing his whole life, and we got this young kid that doesn't have a clue what the hell we're doing here. So Mike, or Tuffy, says, by God, give me that young guy, and we'll train him the way we want. And so I said, well, he's your guy. So we hired Michael, and we trained him the way we want, and now he's just part of the family. And great deal, but thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it. So to the Winter family, thank you very much for doing this. Hope to be involved in it more. One thing I would like to say, it's pretty obvious to me in the very near future, some more of the Winter family needs to go into that. If I need to be on the nominating committee, I can do that. But it seems pretty obvious to me. Don't be so humble, guys. Just go ahead and get right in there. I think they deserve it. I would like to introduce our dear sister, Jody, and her husband, Craig Haythorne. They ranch north of Ogallala, Nebraska. So there's three of us. There's me and Lex and Jody. And in order of workaholic, it's Jody's the worst, Lex is next, and I'm okay. I'm pretty well adjusted. So thank you for coming here. Also, my daughters, this is Cassie, and my grandson, 4-month-old Kellen. And this guy over here, this is Madden Jackson Brandel right there. He's 3.5. He wants to be a cowboy. I'm trying to talk him out of it. This is Emily. She's an attorney. And my daughters, and I appreciate them coming down there. And there is Tawny. She's the youngest. She just graduated from college with a bachelor's. And now I'm trying to teach her how to spell job, J-O-B. So anyway, so Lex and I, we grew up in Lusk, Wyoming. Wyoming's the least populated of all 50 states. We grew up in the least populated county in Wyoming, Niobrara County. 2,500 people in the entire county, 1,400 people in the town of Lusk, 200 people in the school, grades 9 through 12. It was great, though. I mean, there was a few things that we had to put up with. You know, there was budget a little bit. I mean, we had to use this for the driver's education and the sex education. We had to use the same vehicle. But things were hard, you know, so we made deal. So before I go on here, you know, I thought of something just yesterday, and some of you older people in here might know this. So there's an old movie that was actually one of my favorites. It was Jeremiah Johnson with Robert Redford, Mountain Man movie, right? So it had Will Geer in there, and he was an old mountain man that knew everything, and Robert Redford goes up to the hills. He doesn't have a clue what the hell's going on, and Will Geer helps him get adjusted and become a mountain man. He fights all the Indians and tries to starve to death. At the very end of the movie, you might remember this scene. Will Geer finds him at a campfire, Jeremiah Johnson, Robert Redford. So Will Geer says to him, "You've come far, pilgrim." Jeremiah says, "Sure seems like far." And he says, "Was it worth the trouble?" Jeremiah Johnson said, "Huh? What trouble?" Even though he'd had lots of fights. And it's, what trouble? Seems like a good way to go. Anyway, what I'd like to do for you this here is a little bit different maybe than some of you are. I'm going to, through my experience that I've had in business and livestock marketing, I would like to write out a few things that may or not help you. Many of you, the more successful ones, already know this stuff. Livestock marketing business is about people. Your customers do not care about you. They are not against you, but they're not for you, at least not initially. It's not meant to be a critique of your customers, but rather an objective assessment of the human nature of all people. Everyone is a hero in their own movie. No one will look out for you before they look out for themselves. So people care about what you can do for them. If you want to be liked and admired by your customers, it's imperative that you make them feel heard, understood, and valued. If you want to develop a great business and make yourself a great leader, you can cultivate the loyalty of people, customers, and employees by making them feel valued and helping them to be successful. Concentrate on shaping the culture that will make your business successful. So I made a list of 10 things that I think are bullet points to help someone be successful in the cattle marketing business or any business. They go as follows. Number 1, realize and accept that life is not fair. It never has been. It's not going to be. It's just the way it is. So just move on. Number 2, do not try to be all things to all people. Strive to be very good at your chosen endeavor and resist customizing your perfected business plan for individuals. Number 3, understand that you cannot control everything. If you try to control everything, you'd be doing it all by yourself. Number 4, let go of perfectionism and the need for everyone's approval. Strive for excellence, not perfection. Number 5, choose your battles wisely. Do not waste time and resources on something that really doesn't matter. And there's a lot of it that really doesn't make that much difference. Number 6, accept that you're going to deal with adversity. Do not be surprised it's inevitable. Learn the lessons and analyze the struggles to become smarter and stronger. Number 7, believe in yourself. Allow the potential of your hopes and dreams to become reality. Don't stand in your own way. Number 8, it's an important one. Be happy for others. There's room for us all to be successful. In livestock marketing, our job is to help our customers succeed. Number 9, do not try to attract business by setting the cheapest price. Sell yourself and your company as the best value, definitely not the cheapest. And number 10, this is very important. This is the most important one. Value your employees. When competitors come to try and hire away your key employees, make sure they find out that your employees are happy with their job. They're being paid more than your competitor was expecting them to be making. If our employees do not become personally successful, you'll have a workforce that is not motivated. Poor performance without consequences and excellent performance without reward are both the enemy of motivation. Allow your employees to voice their opinions on how their job is done. They very often have a better understanding of the task, and their ideas many times have significant merit. Your responsibility as a leader is to clearly outline the job that you need to get done, the timelines required, and your idea on how it might get done. Communication is the important thing. So those 10 things, maybe you'll take with you. Most of you probably know them already. But if you don't, I think that they would serve you well, whatever your business may be. I would like to congratulate fellow inductees. Andrew, we just got to meet yesterday, and I appreciate that very much, and your success as a commodity trader. Finally dawned on me after I thought about it that probably what we have in common is you were probably making the money that I was spending when I was on the wrong side of the market. Somebody had to be doing it. Apparently your career led you success, so I got to assume at least you were some of that. Mark Mackey. I'm going to tell you a quick story on Mark Mackey. I actually told him before. So, okay, early on when we were first starting, Mark Mackey was our regional rep and came up to Torrington. And quite honestly, you know, it took a while. The whole world wasn't going great then. So, but we got there, and the LMA was struggling then. And as Joe Goggins said to you, 21 years ago, the LMA was struggling. And in 2001, I won the championship, and based on that, going on in 2002, I became on the board, and Pat Goggins was the chairman of the board, and Billy Perrin came on as the president, and we had a guy in there that they wanted to get rid of the CEO because he lined up some deals that was in his favor, not in ours. So Billy Perrin, who was the president, he called up Mark, and he says, Mark, I want you to go in his office and fire that guy, the current CEO, and then you're going to be the new boss. So Mark told me, he says, he went in there and he sat down, his hands, he says, well, sir, I got to talk to you about. Then the guy said, oh, son, I know things aren't going that well right now, but he says, I don't want you to quit. He said, no, sir, I'm not quitting, you are. And they made him the CEO. I told that story in September of 2002. Is that when it was? So we worked through a lot of challenges. And now, I mean, things were a little shaky back then, quite honestly. But they're going great now, and they did a great job. Anyway, so part of the things that worked out from the LMA and their staff so they lined me up. I did a commercial for Budweiser beer in 1993. I don't even know if they had refrigeration then, but probably did. Anyway, here it is.
A jillion miles outside of the hood, the bus got a flat, got no jack. Homie's got to cut his grass. What's up?
4.5. Here, 4.5, here, down, 4.5, 600. Sold.
The man's round sells, but he's got no beat.
Pardon me.
That was there.
Yo, MC cow seller. Good. Fresh.
It was tons of fun. So there were actors, the black guys that were actors out of LA and Hollywood or whatever, and they were doing this. We were filming this about 20 miles outside of Kansas City in August, and that getup they had me in was coveralls and a flannel shirt and stuff, and it was like 99 degrees, and the humidity was like 102. And so we were doing the black guys, even at the end of the dance scene, they didn't show that much of it, but those black guys were fun guys, and they were dancing. We were supposed to be. They looked at me and they go, "Man, you are white, aren't you?" And I thought I was doing pretty good, actually. But the point where I'm going with this is, so we're down there up by Kansas City, at the edge of a cornfield, and I mean, humidity is just crazy. You know, when that corn gets tall and it's hot. And so when they were filming something else, I was taking a break. I was over in a little grass area just sitting there. And there was quite a few locals that would mill around there watching, which is fine, you know. And so I can remember this group. There was a couple of moms and 3 or 4 probably teenage age girls that came over. I was just sitting there by myself, you know, drinking water and I think feeling sorry for myself. Anyway, these girls come over and one of the moms said to me, she says, "Is it true that you are the best auctioneer in the world?" I go, "Well, that's very kind, ma'am, but no, I'm not even the best in my family." Anyway, you'll meet the guy in a minute that's the best in my family. So I just had one last story that I was remembering quite a while ago. I don't even remember where it was. I think it was probably in southeast Colorado. But anyway, I was driving along there, and I really wasn't feeling that good, kind of seemed like down in the dumps, you know, and it was kind of a deal. I saw this big billboard, and the billboard says, "Need help? Call Jesus." 1-800 number. I thought, that's good. Well, it couldn't hurt, so I dialed the number. Pretty quick, a Mexican with a tow truck shows up, and Jesus and turns out we both had our birthday on Cinco de Mayo, so we hung around for a few years. Ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoy the evening. And I would just like to say very seriously, may the Lord bless you and keep you and be gracious to you, and thank you so much for the wonderful evening. Thank you.